The Buddha's teaching about the right timing for teaching the Dharma, especially how the Buddha knew when someone was truly ready to understand, and how this relates to his Arahant disciples, Arya Savak, noble disciples, and Arya Savika, female noble disciples. Deep teaching. The Buddha teaches only when the time is ripe. The Buddha never taught randomly. He taught only when a person's mind, karma, and spiritual maturity were ready to receive the Dharma. This principle is called Kalena Dhammasakacha, teaching the Dharma at the right time. 1. The Buddha could see the ripeness of a person's mind. The Buddha possessed Buddha Jnana, a special wisdom that allowed him to see the person's past karma, their current mental state, the strength of their mindfulness, their potential for awakening, the obstacles covering their mind, whether the mind was ready or not. This is why sometimes the Buddha remained silent, and other times he taught immediately. He always waited for the perfect moment. 2. Dharma cannot enter a mind that is not ready. The Buddha compared this to planting seeds. Dry soil cannot grow anything. Flooded soil cannot hold a seed. Rocky soil lets nothing root. Thorny soil destroys the sprout. But fertile soil, when the season is right, lets the seed grow effortlessly. Likewise, the Buddha taught that the Dharma only blossoms when the mind is calm, ego is softened, suffering has opened the heart, wisdom is ready to take root. 3. The Buddha's disciples awakened because the time was ripe. The Buddha did not give enlightenment. He awakened those whose minds were ready, such as Arahant Arya Savak, male noble disciples who had fully awakened, and Arahant Arya Savika, female noble disciples who had fully awakened. Their readiness was based on countless past lives of spiritual cultivation, accumulated virtue, sila, deep meditation, samadhi, and wisdom near completion, panya. When the Buddha spoke to them, the Dharma entered instantly, like fire touching dry grass. 4. The Buddha taught differently to different people. Because every mind is at a different stage, the Buddha used short teachings for those near awakening, gentle teachings for sensitive minds, gradual teachings for beginners, deep teachings for wise disciples, silence when the mind was not ready. He never forced understanding. He simply opened the door when the mind could walk through. 5. Ripeness means the person's suffering has matured into wisdom. The Buddha said, when the mind is ready, the Dharma reveals itself. This readiness happens when a person sees the truth of suffering. Their heart becomes humble. They are tired of repeating the same mistakes. They begin seeking liberation rather than comfort. In this moment, they enter the Arya lineage, the noble path that leads to awakening. 6. The Buddha could bring disciples to enlightenment with only a few words. For disciples who were fully ripe, like Arya Savak Sariputta, Arya Savak Mahakassapa, Arya Savika Upalavanna, Arya Savika Kema, and many others, one verse of Dharma, one sentence, one reflection was enough to reach arahantship. Why? Because they had already completed 99% of the path in past lives. They only needed the final push. 7. The Buddha waited for the moment when wisdom would spark. Just like a lotus blooms only when the sun rises, fruits ripen only when the season comes, rain falls only when the clouds are ready, wisdom arises only when the conditions are complete. This is why the Buddha often said, "Now is the right time," and then the disciple awakened.